Good morning, student. Welcome back to the new video of literature Villa for Sale Part 2. You have seen the previous video. Now we will move towards the next portion of the chapter. Ginny. But we have talked about nothing else. Gaston, you mean you have talked about nothing else? I have never talked about it. You see, you have talked about it so much that you thought that we are talking. You haven't even noticed that I have never joined in the conversation. If you say that you are looking for a villa, then that's different. Jen, well, at any rate, whether I am looking for it or we are looking for it, the one thing that matters anyway is that I am looking for it for us. Gaston, it is not for us, it is for our parents. You are simply trying to make me buy a villa so that you can put your father and mother in it. You see, I know you. If you got what you want, do you realize what would happen? We would spend the month of August in the villa, but your parents would take possession of it every year from the beginning of April until the end of September. What's more, they would bring the whole tribe of your sisters, children with them. No, I am very fond of your family, but not quite so fond as that. Jane, then why you have been looking over villas for the past week? Gaston, I have not been looking for over them. You have. What it bores me. Jin, well, Gaston, well, what? Jin, then stop being bored and buy one. That will finish it. We won't talk about it anymore. Gaston, exactly. Jin. As far as that goes, what of it? Suppose I do want to buy a villa for a papa and mama. What of it? Now the explanation of this page, Gaston and Ginny get some argument about the house. Gaston is averse to the idea, where his wife is quite open to the idea of buying the property. Gaston finds fault with everything. He's finding the fault. Whatever his wife is saying about the house, is not agree with his wife's decision. On the contrary, Jenny like it. Jen, nerves are frayed as her husband trying to bury the ideas. It seems clear that Jen saw the villa for sale and walked into it. Her husband had opposed the idea from the very outset. Gaston accuses Ginny of being fickle in deciding to buy a property. When both had decided the idea only pre-functionally, he shoots down the idea all contemptuous. Ginny is hurt and resentful at her husband's aloofness. She reminded him that the property would be acquired for their joint use, not for them alone only. Gaston, sitting in anger at his wife's obstinacy, hits back with some comments that are bound to annoy Ginny more. He says the villa would be occupied by their parents for the most part of the year. From April to September. The parents could ever bring their grandchildren also, in contrast two would be leave in only in the month of August only they will leave. Jen is sore and indignant of any way of Gaston shrugs off the suggestions that decision to buy a house was a joint decision, not for the whim of hers. Was saying it is not a her decision, it is a joint decision. Gaston, my darling, I quite admit that you want to buy a villa for your father and mother, but please admit on your side that I want up to pay for it. Jen, that's my dowry. Gaston, your dowry? My poor child, we have spent that long ago, Jen. But since then you have made a fortune. Gaston, quite so. I have, but you haven't. Anyway, there is no use discussing it. I will buy a villa for an aunt's. Jen. Then it won't worthwhile coming in. Gaston, that exactly what I told you at the door, Jen. In that case, let's go. Gaston, by all means. Jen, what on earth will the lady think of? Gaston, I have never cared much about anybody's. Gaston, I have never cared much about anybody's opinion. Come along. He takes his hat and goes towards the door. At that moment, Juliet enters. Juliet, good afternoon, madam, monsieur. Jane, how do you do, madam? Gaston, good day. Won't you sit down? Is your first expression of a good one? Jane, excellent. In this way, the conversation has been going on. Now I'll explain the this page. Instead of reading that, I will explain this thing. The argument get nastier and nastier. Jenny Bresley asserts that she wants to buy a house for her parent. Gaston demands to know if she could pay for the house. Jen reminds her husband that she had brought a good amount of dowry that can be utilized for the purpose. She was saying that is, I brought some money from my parents' house that can be used for this villa. Gaston, oh, the idea saying that the money had been spent long ago. Jen remind her husband that he had made enough money utilizing the dowry she had brought. Gaston says that he had put in enough hard work to make the money. He proceeds to end the acrimony by unequivocally declaring that he is not going to buy the property under any circumstances. With the bitter argument lingering in their minds, they prepare to leave. Jane feels it would be bad manner to leave the place abruptly without informing the landlady, but Gaston is determined to leave. Just then Juliet comes in. She presently exchanges with the visitors and makes them seated. Then she proceeds to sing the praise of her property. As a clever salesman, she tries to substitute. Tries to flatter. That is, she is trying to flatter Jane by indicating that a beautiful woman deserves a beautiful house. She is flattering. She is buttering. It had been desired effect of Jane. Then she proceeds to describe how comfortable her villa is with all the amenities, gas, water, telephone, bathroom, everything is there available in this house. Jeanne cannot hold back her fascination. Gaston prepared to dampen his wife's enthusiasm. Juliet modestly admits that the garden is rather small in size. Gaston is sarcastic. Then the next page. That's not exactly why I meant. Your husband is very witty, madam. As I was saying, the garden is not very large, but you see, it is surrounded by other gardens. Gaston, on the principle of people who like children and haven't any always haven't any can always go and leave never a school. Jane, please don't joke. Gaston, what this lady says is perfectly right. Will you tell me, madam, what's the price you are asking for the villa? Juliet. Well, you see, I haven't. I must admit, quick frankly, that I don't want to sell it anymore. Now, this page in this way, that is the conversation is going between the Gaston and the Juliet, and they want that is the Juliet is fluttering the Jenny so that she can buy the villa. You have to read this. This is a play, and you have to read that, and I will explain. If I am going to read each and every line, you have to read, and I am explaining the chapter, the page. And one more time you go through that so that you can understand better. Now the explanation. Juliet tried to gloss over Gaston's sarcasm about the small size garden in her villa. She tells Jane that her husband is quite witty. She may adds that her tiny garden space is surrounded by larger gardens that yields the visual delight to the inmate of her villa. Gaston has more sarcasm. Ready to belittle Juliet Villa. He says a childless couple can. He says a childless couple can live beside a school and conveniently, conveniently satisfy their need for children. Jin obviously does not like her husband diatribes against the villa's garden. She pulls up Gaston. Gaston changes her gear and asks Juliet about the price she expects for her villa. Juliet starts her sales pitch a bit clumsily. She says she does not uh, want to sell the house. Without waiting for Juliet to complete her offer, Gaston assumes the sale is aborted. Jane implores her husband to be patient. Juliet began to make her offer. She says she would sell her villa to people with a fine taste. She was not like that is whatever his husband has been commenting. That is why she said she does not want to uh, say that is she does not want to sell this villa, and she wanted to give the person who likes the house. She finds Gaston, that his wife, to be right choice as appeared to be the source of aristocratic. Finally, Juliet comes up with her offer. She says the price is 250,000 francs. She will sell everything in the villa in as in where is condition. She will say whatever the things are there, she is going to sell that, except the painting by the Corot that she would retain. That is, one painting was been kept. She does not wanted to give that painting. Gaston Instantly, she says that the price is exorbitant. Juliet signs. Gaston remains firm in his opinion. Next page. Quite so, life is full of surprise, isn't it? Juliet, you think a deer at 250,000? Very well, I can't be fairer than this. Make an offer. Jane, if you please, madam. Jane, you have not over polite, are you? Now, the explanation of this line. Seeing Gaston's staunch disapproval of the price, Juliet pleads with him to give his offer. Gaston says his offer will be much less. Juliet pleads with him to make his offer anyway. Jean to tell her husband to make an offer. Gaston quotes 60,000 francs. Both Ginny and Juliet sign disappointedly at the low price quoted by Gaston. Gaston stands his ground. He maintained that the villa does not command a higher price. Then Juliet was little diluted. She says she will never sell her villa for anything else than 200,000 francs, down from 250,000. Gaston says, as the seller, she is within her rights to set her price. Juliet she says that generous enough to sell the villa for them for 200 francs. Then what happened? The Gaston withdraw from the deal gracefully and diplomatically. Juliet prepared to bring down the curtain of the negotiation. Gaston said good day before leaving. Juliet sees the opportunity with relish. She offered to take the couple to the upper floor. Gaston again sulks, refusing to go to the upstairs. Juliet agrees to leave his behind and take Jane alone. Juliet exit. Jane paused to the child, eyed her husband for being impolite. Then Gaston, oh my darling, for heaven's sake, stop worrying me about this shanty. Go and examine the bathroom and come back quickly. Miss Elsmith, see here now. I tell you, I am in a hurry. How much do you want to for this house? Maid, I don't know anything about Madam. Gaston, oh, I did love to, Miss Elsmith. Then what about it? I haven't more than 5 minutes to spare. Gaston made no attempt to hide his disgust about his wife's persistence with the villa, that he considered as appealing. He asked Jane to see the toilet from form her opinion. Jane and Juliet both exit, leaving Gaston alone. He reflects on the price of 200,000 francs mentioned by the landlady. He convinces himself the price is too high to merit any consideration. The doorbell rings and maid brings one lady name, that is another person enter, that is what was the name of that, Miss L. Smith. She appears to be buyer of is in great haste. She asks the maid about the price. She is also asking the price. Naturally, the maid says she does not know. Mrs. L. Smith is an American. Is an American. She bears all the hallmarks of being so. She gruffly asks why the price has not been mentioned in the villa for sale. She is asking that is why the price is not being mentioned on the board. She appears to be in a tearing hurry to finalize the purchase as she had many other important jobs to do. Quite curtly, she asked the maid to rush and ask the owner to come and talk to her. She said to maid, that is called the owner, I want to talk. I am in a hurry. I can't wait for 5 minutes here. Her eyes fall on Gaston. That is, then he saw one person was been standing. She mistake to be a Juliet's husband. She thought that is he is the Juliet husband. Misunderstanding here. Under the notion that he is the owner of the villa, he thought that is Gaston is the owner of the villa. She demands to know the price. Then she asks the price of the villa to Gaston. Not knowing how to respond, Gaston asks her to take the seat. She says she wants to close the deal right away and does not want to time to sit. That is, she said, I'm not having the time to sit here and to waste my time. I have to deal and I have to complete these things, all these things just now. There is a further confusion awaiting to come. When Mrs. L. Smith asked Gaston where is his wife, wrongly thinking her to be the owner, was quite meekly Gaston said she is upstairs. He also don't know. He said that is she went, both of them went upstairs. She is upstairs. Mrs. L. Smith being in great haste wants to conclude the deal with Gaston. On being asked if Gaston would like to consult his wife on this matter, he declines the suggestion. Mrs. L. Smith is pleasantly surprised to see Gaston, though French, taking decision independently. Miss L. Smith again stresses that she has just 5 minutes to close the deal. Then Gaston, copies are not always good. We could only imitate you, and imitation are not better paradise. We are so different. Think of it. Europeans go to Americans to earn money, and Americans come to Europe to spend. Then the explanation. Gaston requests Mrs. L. Smith, all Smith to be seated for 3 minutes, just 3 minutes. He says that the villa was built by his grandfather. Mrs. L. Smith is rather boorish and impatient. She became bored and impatient. She says she does not care for whoever built it. She was no patience to hear Annie E. Blairney. She demands to know the price, right? She only know that if she want to do deal only the price. She even refused to see the villa. She said she wants to demolish. She does not want this villa. She is going to demolish and build a new one. She just wants the price. She said she wants to be near Paramount. So it is a place, not the villa, that interests her. Mrs. L. Smith boastfully says that she is a big star. Gaston is extraordinarily polite. He says that he will sell the villa but would retain a painting that has been since the time of his grandfather. Mrs. L. Smith rubs the pain points and she is rich, forward looking American, not tied to the past. There is some arrogance in her voice which she chides Gaston for not adopting American ways. Gaston counters her politely, saying Europeans can never be like Americans. He says Europeans go to Americans to take money, whereas Americans come to Europe to spend money. Mrs. Smith, just the same, you ought to learn how to do the business. Gaston, we are learning, we are practicing. Mrs. L, well then, how much? The house, let me see. Now, the explanation of this page. Gaston says Europeans are gradually trying to adopt the American ways that flatter Mrs. L. Smith ego possibly. Gaston quotes the price as 300,000 francs. Mrs. L. Smith seems to agree to the price, showing no intention to bargain. Gaston is immensely satisfied with himself and feels lucky. He feels grateful to the buyer. Mrs. L. Smith proceeds to write the check. Gaston pretends to looking for the pen in the drawer. Mrs. L. Smith jokingly suggests to Gaston to buy a pen with the money he is going to get. She puts her the date on the check 24 the same day. She hand over the check to Gaston, suggesting that put the pay name himself. She says that she lives in Ritz Hotel, Vendôme. She says her lawyer, Mr. Hu Rue Comburn, he will be in the touch with Gaston to complete the paperwork. He architect about come on Thursday to carry forward the process. Gaston was delighted to hear the madam. It is very good thing in the business when someone is delighted. Now in this way there is a conversation is going on. Then Jen and Juliet came down. Then the Juliet, yes, 200,000 is the lowest cash cost of the explanation of this page. With the 300,000 franc check in hand, Gaston moved his buyer. He seems to Mrs. Almond Smith most courteously and chuckles that the deal, fortunately, has left both the buyer and the seller happy. Jen and Juliet reappears in the sale. Gaston want to know Jen's opinion on the villa after her inspection. Jen speaks that the house about the house. It encourages Juliet to add her voice to the praise of her villa. Unaware of what were the things which are happened in town. Jane suddenly says it was the time to go as her husband would never agree to purchase. Juliet formally reads herself to get Gaston and Ginny. Then the Gaston steps in her and says, as Juliet describes about the rooms and all this and get Gaston about to the Gaston. Then Gaston's sudden change of heart takes both Ginny and Juliet by surprise. Gaston was being interested, then they both of them were being surprised by that. Now Gaston talked as he was a great admirer of the villa. He seems to forget all the deficiencies of the house. He looks at his wife because why he was doing that is already he has a deal with the Mrs. Elsmith, the wife, and says his parent in her dotage deserves a good house to stay. That is, he was saying a parents needs a good house to stay. In this way, he is flattering his wife. Saying this, he looks at the Juliet and asks her to confirm the price 200,000. Then he asks, that is, the confirmed price is 200 francs only. Gaston's sudden burst of enthusiasm for the house confounds his wife. Juliet loses no time, affirm, and the price was indeed 200,000 francs. Not only one thing, as I am not arguing about the price, as I am not bargaining with you. Gaston, you must be nice to me. You must allow me to keep this little picture which was kept company while you are and my wife went upstairs. Now in this way Juliet and Jane and Gaston was conversation is going on. With unusual promptness, Gaston takes out the checkbook. Julia, surprised at Gaston's readiness to close the deal and make the payment, mildly protests, saying that there are so many loose ends to be tied up. Gaston makes his final plea, reminding Juliet that he did not bargaining at all on the price. He says he wants to retain the picture that he has been begun to take so much fancy on. Juliet agrees, definitely maintaining these things to keep Juliet in a dark about the deal. He was already cut with Mrs. Elsmith. Gaston magnanimously writes the check and hand it over to Juliet to exchange for her receipt. Gaston hand over the card and says his lawyer will contact Juliet to complete the formalities. To Juliet, immensely relieved and happy at the close of the transaction, he makes the most crucial request in her innocent manner. She must vacate the villa the next morning. This baffles Juliet somewhat, but with the check in her hand, she could hardly complain. Instead of morning, they mutually agree for the evening for the formal handover of the property. Then Juliet exits. Jane is then she Gaston more surprised in the store. For her, she says he was became a richer by 100,000 francs after the transaction. A day's Jane wants to know. Gaston promised to explain everything soon. In this way, this chapter is been over. You go through the videos twice, and the question answers will be given to you in the attached file. Revise the portions, revise the question answers which are given in the chapter. Thank you, students.